This is the Scorpion Exo HX-1 Carbon SE helmet, and if you're looking for something to stand out from the crowd, this could very well be it. But outside of its looks, what does it actually perform like? Now, the standard Scorpion HX-1 has proved to be a very popular Streetfighter helmet for those looking for that Simpson-esque look, if you like. But the Carbon SE just takes that helmet on another step. Now, as the name suggests, this is a full carbon construction helmet, and the finish is lovely. There's a kind of tinted clear coat over the top of the carbon shell, so you've got that exposed carbon underneath with a gold pinstriped accent. It looks absolutely beautiful, particularly when the sun shines on it. And in this format, without the peak but with the visor, it weighed in my scales at home at 1,595 grams. In the box, you get the helmet with a clear visor and a nice kind of coordinated carbon element on the side there with the gold trim. You get a gold iridium visor with the gold accents on the side. You also get a peak, and you get some blanking plates if you want to run this helmet in a completely naked format. The helmet also has what Scorpion call a speed view, but in all terms that's a pull down sun visor. And it's very similar, in fact, to the one that you'll find in the Shoei X-Zero. Just a little tab on the side to enable you to pull that in, and it locks down into place, it locks up into place. It's got pretty decent coverage too, but more on that later. Ventilation comes from a vent in the chin, which is closable from the inside, and there's a single open close vent on the top. Warm air exits via a venturi in the back, and two small vents on the underside. Incidentally, this mouthpiece is also interchangeable. If you're the sort of person that changes your visor frequently, then you will be disappointed to find that there is no quick release system on this. You do require an Allen key to undo the bolt to take the visor off and or fit the peak. Now, that is a little bit of a pain, but if you're a kind of fit and forget person, really it's not too much of a problem. Changing the visor and the peak is very simple though. Unscrew the bolt, which is metal, not plastic, so points to Scorpion for that. Just raise the visor and pull it away. Then simply line up the tags, push it into place and close. Simple. The visors themselves are pin lock ready, but you don't get a pin lock in the box. The peak is bolted into place, and if you're just using the covers for the naked setup, then they sort of clip in and turn to lock. There's a goggle strap on the back of the helmet. The interior itself is nice and plush and offers great comfort with its Quick Wick 3 material, and it's also a glasses friendly helmet too, with the cutouts that will work with a wide range of frames. The helmet is prepped for the fitment of Scorpion's own Exocom Bluetooth intercom, but given the cutout on the base, it should also be very easy to fit a third-party comms unit. The chin strap is taken care of by a micrometric buckle, and it has a nice positive action. It's a nicely finished helmet with quite a distinctive look. It's probably a bit Marmite in terms of styling, but it certainly offers something different in this space. Fit wise, it suits intermediate oval heads, and sizing seems to be pretty accurate. Now, I'm normally a large in most helmets, and this large has an indicated 60 centimeter head diameter, which is kind of about where I am. And it fitted pretty well, but maybe was just a touch loose. There are, however, only two shell sizes in this helmet, one that covers the size extra small to medium, and another one from large to double extra large. And subsequently, I thought this was physically quite a big helmet. Obviously in the large, I've got the smallest size in the bigger shell, so there's a little bit more padding. And I did kind of have that feeling that it was a little bit bobbleheady. You can be the judge of that from the images. When it's not massively big, it's not as bad as some of the others I've tried. It just felt that it was bigger than it needed to be honest. And that's the difference of having numerous shell sizes. If you go to a brand that's got 3, 4, 5 shell sizes, then you're getting a much better fit shell for your head than just having it split across 2. So that's a little bit of a drawback for this helmet, depending, I guess, on what size you are. And that leads me into the riding experience. The helmet does feel quite light on the head, and it's certainly an all-day comfortable experience. It's pretty stable too, and I didn't experience much in the way of drag or pull, even with the peak in place. The drop-down visor offers a really good level of coverage and it's easy to operate, but I'll have to admit the clarity of the lens wasn't quite as good as I was expecting. Now, don't get me wrong, it doesn't hinder your vision, it's not blurry or anything like that, but it just doesn't quite have the clarity of other brands such as Schubert and Shoei, which are particularly excellent, and even Nex to that point as well. It's not a negative for this, I don't have an issue with it at all, but I just need to point out that it just didn't feel as if it was quite as good as some others out there. But the eyeball is nice and big and it offers excellent vision, and there's plenty of room to fit pretty much any pair of goggles if you so wish. Now onto noise, and I would say it's not the quietest of helmets. I always tend to find that carbon fibre helmets do seem to resonate that sound more, so unless they put extra sound deadening in there, they always tend to be a little bit more noisy than a composite. And I'd also add my usual caveat that the noise very much depends on the fit and what bike you're riding, all that sort of thing. So we'll all have a slightly different experience, and I suspect because this helmet didn't fit as snugly as I would have liked, I probably had a slightly exaggerated level of noise in the helmet. As I mentioned earlier, for me, being a large in this of the larger cell size, it did feel like the helmet was quite big compared to the size of my head, and with this kind of bluff chin bar that juts out with the angular venting on here and the vent on the top, I did experience a little bit of wind noise. Now, I did ride it on various different bikes. I rode it on the Africa Twin with the screen in the high position and the low position, and I rode it on naked bikes, and obviously there is some variance into that, but it's the sort of helmet I think where you are going to inherently get some wind noise just because of its styling and the way that the vents are set up. It's nothing horrible or annoying enough to suggest avoiding the helmet, but it is there. I've never been able to get a really good fit with a Scorpion helmet, and the HX-1 is no exception. It's just one of those brands that doesn't really work for me. But having said that, and as I say in all of my videos, everybody out there in reality will have a slightly different experience. Venting, despite being limited, works well. I didn't get as much through the top vent as I'd like, but it's good enough for all but the hottest days, and on those hot days you can run with no visor and goggles anyway. All in all, it's a distinctive looking helmet and definitely offers something different to the competition out there. As I said at the beginning, it's a colour scheme that you're either going to love or you're going to hate, but it has got a very nice finish and certainly has a premium feel. Priced at $349.99, it kind of sits in that middle ground of helmet pricing, but given that you get the extra visor and the peak and the overall quality of the helmet, I would say it represents pretty good value, and it's definitely a standout when you compare it to the other Streetfighter style helmets on the marketplace. I'll leave a link in the description to the Bikerheads website where you can go away and have a look at more details on that helmet and the rest of the Scorpion range. And I want to thank the guys at Bikerheads for loaning me this helmet to do the review for you. I do really appreciate that. If you've got any questions, then you know where to leave those down in the comment section below. And all that leaves me to say is until next time, thanks for watching, take care, ride safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye!